What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. And today, guys, we're doing the one thing we love. What do we love more than anything? That's right, comparing UFC 4 to see how bad that game truly is. Now, we might have actually given UFC 4 a shot at winning something for once. Because you all know UFC 4 has lost the battle against UFC 3. It's lost the battle against UFC Undisputed series in general. However, this time we're comparing EA Sports' first MMA game, which is EA Sports MMA, to their most recent one, which is EA Sports UFC 4. Now, EA Sports MMA came out in October 2010, so 11 years ago, but in about 7-8 months, it will be 12 years ago. So as of right now, let's just call it 11 years. However, UFC 4 came out August 2020, so pretty much, other than 2 or 3 month gap, there is a bang-on 10-year gap between the two. So what I want to do, guys, I want to compare the stand-up, just the general flow. I'm not going to be like jab, straight, hook, just the general flow of the stand-up between both games. The general ground game, so just, a bit of ground and pound, mainly transition work, things like that, as well as a full-out standing KO, as well as a ground and pound TKO, and as well as submissions. I want to compare all of those, one after the other, as well as side by side, and see what you guys think, because I honestly, while we all hate EA, I generally refuse to believe that in 10 years of work, they've actually gone downhill in the fans' eyes. Now, let's be honest, we can all be a bit critical, but we know, for me personally, when UFC 3 was out, I genuinely had a good time. I genuinely enjoyed that game. I played it a lot. I done tons of career, tons of online, done tons of videos on it. I genuinely had a lot of fun on UFC 3, as well as UFC 2 and UFC 1. And they seem to get better and better and better. However, UFC 4 has, for me, dropped right off. I don't enjoy that game at all. I physically cannot have fun on that game. It makes me sick and gives me a headache playing that game. So I want to see 10 years difference, same company, same genre, so no Fight Night versus UFC 4, no ESBC versus UFC 4, straight up same genre, same company, everything. Let's see which one is better. First things first, guys, is I'm going to do, like I said, one after the other. So this is EA Sports MMA for 2010. Just a bit of, flowing with the stand-up. Dan Henderson, Gegard Mousasi. Nothing major here. I just wanted to do this with every single one, then do a side-by-side. And then here you've got UFC 4 with Bisping and Machida, just a bit of stand-up. I just want to say quickly, I had the AI on medium difficulty through both games. Random arenas. I just picked relatively the same weight classes, middleweights than heavyweights. I didn't, make UFC 4s unfair. The AI is on the same difficulty in both games. Then here you've got a side-by-side. For the side-by-sides, I've done about a minute. Now, I hope that's not too long. The video will only be about 7.5 minutes anyways. But I thought here you guys get to see a bit of a side-by-side of kind of how it flows as a game. And for some of them, I didn't, purposely. I did purposely record for this video, but I didn't want to make either game look bad or either game look good. I just literally played. Sometimes the AI, like I said, likes to not fight back as much. Like UFC 4's one's a bit more subdued, whereas in EA Sports MMA, sometimes they love to try and get you in the clinch constantly, which can be a bit of a pain. But yeah, as you guys can see, just kind of moving around. I was trying to move around a lot, trying to be a bit aggressive in both games. So, you guys could really see, your play. So I know people tend to be more aggressive than defensive in these kind of games. So, you can see it both round one, both quite aggressive, fighting quite heavy. And here we jump to the ground game. Just like I said, a bit of flowing of the ground. This one is the most shocking. We know that UFC 4's ground game compared to Undisputed 3 is pretty bad, because Undisputed 3's ground game is awesome. But when you watch this ground just flow, and nothing like this defend and half mount, full mount, top mount, side control, bloody blah. I mean half guard, full guard. Sorry, not half mount. All this stuff. This is, like I said, same difficulty, same weight class, heavyweights. I was Ken Shamrock in EA Sports MMA here, and then I was Daniel Cormier here. Got a few reversals in UFC 4, sorry. But EA Sports MMA had so many reversals, so much opportunity, to do more on the ground. The opponent generally felt like they were fighting back properly, and trying to drain you of your stamina at the same time as just fighting clever. You can just tell like how the EA Sports MMA one is flowing here, and it's constantly moving. The UFC 4 one looks so stiff. It looks like a stop motion with Legos. It just seems so much more stiff than the EA Sports MMA one. And this is the most disappointing part, you know, it's an MMA game, and the ground game in UFC 4 is so weak and so unappetizing to watch. And then we move on to the standing KOs. Now, I could have got a really, really vicious one with EA Sports MMA, but like I said, I didn't want to make the game look like brilliant. I wanted to make it look like you were just playing it. So that was the standing KO from EA Sports MMA. They tend to push TKOs on you quite heavily. I do like the ragdoll effects these days in UFC 4. You know, they are quite brutal, so I'll give credit where credit's due there. And then here it is side by side. And with the TKO guys, I didn't go hammer and tong on either game. I didn't, like, you know, spam the fuck out my button. You guys will see that on the EA Sports MMA one especially. And then this one here is the TKO. As you can see, I'm pretty tired there, but I still threw that good shot here. And then you'll see I kind of hold myself and then bang, wait, bang, bang. Just, you know, still really good shots there. And then this is the UFC 4 one. Yet again, quite a disappointing. You know, I mean, they're like, why do I stop? I don't know why. But, you know, and then here we've got obviously the side by side yet again here. You know, the TKOs on EA Sports MMA are just so much better. You can make them brutal, you can make them throw 100 punches, or you can make them a bit slower. Now here's the submissions. Now this is another huge difference. You can see just the difference here. I've got, I think that's a knee bar on Dan Henderson there. As you can see, the button fight back with you tap square. You can't let your stamina go down. Henderson's trying to defend it with circle, and the fight is over. So it's quite a nice submission thing to do, to be honest. And then you've got the UFC 4 one here, which is just not as exciting, as you can tell. You know, like, where's the reaction? You guys will really see it in the side by side. You might want to throw up, if I'm honest with you. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts, in all honesty. While we just watched, because the side by side will be coming up in a sec. But while we just watched it, you know, what do you guys think? Where does UFC 4 win? You know, does UFC 4 look better in all of these to you guys? Honestly, like, you know, what do you think? You'll see a side by side here. Also, you'll see that the UFC 4 submissions last really long. Like the EA Sports MMA one, I was fighting Henderson for quite a while. I could have finished the submission a lot earlier. You can see my stamina going up and down because I'm not pressing square, then I'm pressing square, I'm not pressing square, then I'm pressing square, just to, you know, fight. And even that was quicker than the submission for UFC 4. And there we have it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You know, what looks better? For me, I think UFC 4 still, the combinations are a bit crisper on the stand-up for sure, especially things like hooks. EA Sports MMA, they're very flappy hooks, I tend to find, whereas in UFC 4, they are quite sharp. From a technical standpoint, UFC 4's stand-up is somewhat better, just in the way they throw their shots is far more realistic. But when it comes to the flow of the game and just the genuine enjoyment, a 10-year-old game tends to win yet again. Not even talking about Fight Night here, we're talking about EA Sports' first MMA game. So this is the same genre. You know, I'm not comparing boxing to MMA this time. I'm comparing MMA to MMA. And, you know, yet again, guys, UFC 4 seems to not just, you know, not be there. And the submissions especially, man, the submissions, you can see the difference, you know, where the way the opponent was writhing in pain. It's just little things like that, I feel, you know, really bringing the immersion of the game. And maybe for the pro players, they don't give a fuck about immersion, you know, maybe they don't care. But for me, as somewhat of a huge MMA fan, but a casual UFC 4 player, it's not enough to bring me in and say to my friends, hey, do you want to jump on UFC 4? It's not enough. We don't do that. We don't jump on those games because we don't have fun on UFC 4. You know, last year we played more UFC 3 than we played UFC 4. So, you know, but that's just me, guys. You know, I just don't seem to be enjoying UFC 4. That's just the way it be. And, you know, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You guys might be a huge UFC 4 fan, and you guys might not have played these other games. You might not have played UFC 1, 2, and 3, so you might just play UFC 4 and you're enjoying it and you're loving it, and you're not quite sure why the game gets the hate. But just for me personally, compared to EA's other work, it's pretty weak, in my opinion. Like I said, the stand-up does look better, you know, technically, visually, it looks better. Yes, it's not as fast-paced. You can't throw combinations together quite as nicely as EA Sports MMA. But, you know, that's where I'll give credit where credit's due. Ragdoll is now decent since they've updated the game quite a bit for over a year. For a year and a half now, give or take. And, you know, finally got the ragdolls right and things like that. So, you know, I'll give credit where credit's due. But for, like, ground game and flow of the game and speed and, you know, real brutality of MMA, of course, EA Sports MMA wins that, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.